Here we go. At last. Here we go.
At last. Here we go. At last. No. At last. Okay. We're finally on our way. We're trying to reach the speed that we have to reach so we can reach the ground. That's right, everybody. It's time for another Help Desk episode. I hope you're ready. I know I am. Alright, so we've got a lot to talk about today, guys. So I'm going to bring TeamSpeak live here in a moment, but I just want to take the time to let everyone know, of course, if you are in TeamSpeak, please make sure that your voice isn't coming over the headset constantly, and let's go ahead and do this. Alright, everybody. So I brought the TeamSpeak live. Now, Sprocket did say she was going to be a few minutes before she could show up. We do have Vero here with us. Hey, Vero, how's it going?
Going pretty good.
There we go. So we've got quite a few topics to talk about today, and the first one I'm going to do is something that I do every week. How to talk for hours on end. So a lot of people have actually been coming to me asking on the Twitter how you can talk for 2 hours straight, pretty much non-stop. And I'm going to teach you that trick today. First of all, you need something to talk to. Not being able to talk to something makes it so much harder. My favorite trick to do is to have something to talk to. So I usually talk to OBS itself. If you have OBS preview window up, you can see yourself in it, and you can talk to that. And that's a major thing for me. I use that a lot. Right now, I'm actually talking to the OBS window, and you guys are there. And yeah, so that is a lot of what I do. Excuse me here, guys. I just got to make one small change so that I can see you guys. I completely forgot about that. There we go. Now I can see the chat. So yeah, so that's a big thing when it comes to using OBS that I absolutely love, is the fact that you can see yourself and you can talk to yourself. Vero, do you find yourself having trouble like talking, or do you have any examples where you'd like to help us out here?
As far as trouble, normally my go-to thing is a lot of the times I will comment on the game, kind of like YouTube Let's Players do when they do their thing. But I do run into sometimes where I do run out of stuff to talk about.
Oh, there you go. Now, that is a great idea. YouTube Let's Play style, telling people what you're doing in the game, and not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it, is a great way to keep yourself talking. Although, like you said, it may not necessarily do everything you need, because there are times when games just get dry, or the game is pretty much self-explanatory. Usually in those cases, I'll tell stories. Imagine a streamer, you're talking to your chat, there's no one in it, and you're sitting there and you're talking to yourself about a random story, and somebody walks in and all they hear at the very beginning of your stream is, and that's how I stopped World War III. They're hooked right there. Just a few words, and now they're hooked. They're going to stick around. They're going to find out more about you. They're going to move on to what I like to refer to as phase 2, and they're going to stick around your channel for a while and find out about you and you as a streamer. And that's going to be a big thing for you. So honestly, when you're not streaming, because as everyone says, any type of major streamer will tell you, streaming is not just when you're live. There is a lot to do when you're not live. As an example, this is a 2-hour show. I spent 8 hours research in the last week, coming up with different topics that we could talk about, information on those various topics. Some take longer than others, and it's not all super easy to figure out. And I bring this information, I do the research, and I bring it to you guys so that you don't have to. That is what streaming is all about in a nutshell. So when you're not streaming, you should be coming up with little stories. And remember, you can have your Twitch VODs that you can download. and they'll have the stories that you tell on there, and then you can write them down or whatever you want to do so that you have them to tell later, and you can tell them over and over and over. A nice example that I like to give is Sevidus. Sevidus is a Minecraft streamer, very great streamer. He has a story that he tells about how he was born in a pack of lions. Now this is an outrageous story, like 2 to the tenfold, about how he lived with lions and he was raised as a cub, and it's completely not believable, but it's an amazing story that he tells the exact same every time. How does he do that? Of course he wrote it down. You can tell that he must have written it down, because there is no way that you could either A, remember absolutely everything about what you said, B, add more information and keep remembering that information every time you tell the story without writing it down. And so that's a big thing, is to go back through your episodes, talk about things that you talked about, write it down. Amazing thing that I did once was I wrote down what people said to me in my stream when they came in. I had one guy come in, he told me he was looking for a job, and I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of wrote that down, Just as an example, use Vero. We'll say Vero was looking for a job. There we go. So I wrote that down, and then the person came in the next day when I was streaming, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And my response was, absolutely terrific, man. Did you get any interviews yet? Which tells him you were paying attention, you were listening, and now he's got a better understanding of you, a deeper understanding of you, and he's going to want to stick around. So the fact that he came back a second day, even if it was just for a few minutes, now he's invested in the stream. You've personalized it for him, and that's going to make him more likely to stick around. Sprocket, are you here yet?
I am kind of here, yes. I am here for now, since Little Goblin is finishing his lunch.
Oh, wonderful. What do you think?
I think a lot of things.
On the particular subject at hand, have you been listening?
Today I was a little bit lax on my speaking during the stream, but I do try to keep up with the chat that is going on during the stream. I hope I did answer pretty much everybody that was in there, or answered everybody. When you find yourself without things to talk about, like me today, I was kind of commenting on how horrible I was playing the game, but that's because I was playing it horrible, so I might as well have some fun with it. When I do games, especially like the one I was doing today, I get lost in them a little bit because they're like a movie to me. I'm watching this movie unfold and I get to play in it. So I try to remember that I do need to interact with people that are in the chat, even if they're not talking. So commenting about trying to find all of the clues, or doing these side quests that are in the game that I'm in, to let people know that I will be going back eventually to get all the other little things that are in there. But trying to find something to talk to. Me today, I was actually talking to the character that I was playing, because that was the one thing that I could definitely focus on that never left the screen. And I would just shift over a little bit to the chat to make sure that I was keeping up with what was being said over there.
Perfect. And of course, as everyone here should know, if you don't already, it's all about the chat. It's not actually about gaming. Even though this is a gaming streaming system, it's not about the game at all. It's all about chat. And you'll take a look and you'll see people and they're just playing the game, things like that. No. The entire point is community. You're supposed to be talking with your chat and stuff. Yes, you're not going to be as good at the game, but that's the point. If you can't, how to put this kindly, if you can't communicate well with your chat while playing the game, maybe that's not the right game to be playing if you're looking for community. Now, if you're one of those people who does esports, that's a completely different thing. It's all about being competitive. You'll take a look here if you watch CSGO, if you watch LOL, if you watch any of the big FPSs, you'll notice they don't talk with chat very often because they have to concentrate on the game, which means that if you're going to play one of those games, you better be good. Because now, I'm not paying attention to you, I'm paying attention to your gameplay. And if your gameplay sucks, there's no reason to stick around. So you've got to make it about one of two things. It's got to be about the game, or it's got to be about the chat, the community. And if you don't have good gameplay, then you better go for the community aspect, or else you're just never going to make it. Anything else to add? Either of you?
If focusing on something in the actual game or on your chat is not possible for you, there's a really good friend of mine that has one of those old little troll dolls, the ones with the really wild hair and the little gems in the belly button.
Mm-hmm.
She actually keeps that on the top of her monitor. It's glued on to the top of it, so when she kind of spaces out with talking or nobody's in her chat when she's going, she literally carries on a conversation with that little troll doll. So having something there that's easy to focus on is also another thing. Another friend of mine just talks to their dog that sits next to him while he streams. So there's always something to keep you yammering.
Oh, exactly. And if for some reason, if you can't find anything, like if you're the type of person that just cannot talk to themselves or inanimate objects or games and things like that, then my recommendation to you, TeamSpeak. Get yourself some friends, get online, and talk to them. It's a great way to fill the void, keep the communication going, tell each other stories, just go wild in the TeamSpeak, have fun, because that's what this is all about. It's all about having fun. If people see you having fun, they're going to come back and they're going to have fun. And that is a major, major thing. If you can keep yourself talking, it makes the stream more fun. And then eventually you're going to get a chat, and you're going to get, more people in all the time, and you're going to have that steady conversation that you need in order to keep going. But for the first little bit, you got to figure out a way to talk to yourself. And whether or not that's talking to yourself, talking to someone else on TeamSpeak, talking to an inanimate object, however you want to go about it, as long as you're doing it, that's the major thing. Now, the other thing I want to impart is a little piece of wisdom. If you're talking for 2, 4, 6, 12 hours straight, it's not good for your voice. So what do? There are some home remedies that I've found very, very valuable when it comes to keeping your voice. I've seen streamers do 24-hour live streams and completely lose their voice, and it's because they're not following a few simple rules. 1. Basic sugars. If you take in basic sugars like honey, they will help your vocal cords. It helps soften the blow, things like that. Honey is pretty much the only basic sugar that works because it's really the only true basic sugar. Everything else has to break down even further. My mic is skipping. That's not good. Well, let's see here. It's probably in the settings. Let's just go ahead.
I'm gonna hijack this just for a second. But yes, making sure that you have something to drink is essential to streaming, especially if you do a lot of talking like me. One of the reasons I was a little bit late to my stream this morning is 1, little goblin was eating the cat food and I had to stop him, and 2, I make a honey lemon cinnamon tea, a very hot tea that I keep on the desk with me when I stream, which is why you hear me drink a little bit of it. And the lemon helps keep my vocal cords loose. The honey helps keep it from getting too dried out, and the cinnamon is actually just good for you, and I like the flavor of cinnamon.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Teas are a great way to go. I'm more of a chai tea fan myself, but it does have cinnamon in it. It does contain wonderful soothing aspects for your throat, and the honey's in there because I always use honey. And the best thing about honey is that you can go to the store, you can buy a container of natural honey, and a year later, it's still good. Honey is one of the 2 things that does not go bad. Everything else technically goes bad eventually. A piece of paper or a napkin will eventually break down in, 10 to 20 years. Honey never will, because it's already in its most basic form. It is just a natural, basic sugar. The other thing that doesn't break down is nail polish remover. Very odd, I know. It's a very basic chemical, and it's never going to break down. Coffee. You could drink coffee, but you got to make sure that you Coffee will help, don't get me wrong. It'll give you energy, first of all, which is great. But the downsides of coffee are the fact that generally most people don't use honey in coffee, which is a downside. The second thing is that with coffee, it's actually acidic, which is not necessarily good for your vocal cords in long term when we're talking like that. But don't get me wrong, I like my coffee too. All right, so that's the basics of how to talk for hours on end, guys. So we're going to move on to the next section. Energy, why you need it and how it affects you. You need a lot of energy. When you're live, you need to be yourself, but you need to be like here. If this is you normally, this is where you need to be. So you gotta ramp up the energy, because if you're just sitting there doing absolutely nothing and just talking, it's not a very fun stream. Like if I just sat here like this the entire time, there'd be really no point in having my webcam on. I do a lot of hand motions, moving around, and I think that energy actually does help the streaming. You'll find that a lot of the big streamers have a ton of energy. They're going at it. And if you need energy drinks, you need coffee, things like that to wake up in the morning, that's what you use. I personally like to drink pop at night to keep my energy going, because, I start to fade because I get up fairly early in the morning. So any way that you can keep your energy up for your stream is a great idea. You got to watch out too, because with energy takes energy from you, and that means that in 4, 5, 6 hours you might not have the energy to keep streaming. So the question is a high energy 3-hour stream better than a 6-hour low energy stream? I personally say yes. I think that the shorter high energy stream is actually going to net you more followers in the long run. It's going to be shorter, more compressed to you, and people are going to enjoy it much, much more. You can stream for hours on end, not talking very much and being quiet and conserving energy. People are going to come into your channel and they're immediately going to leave before you even knew they were there. Before your viewer count updates in that 30 seconds, they're gone. And that's not what we want to see happen. We want to make sure that you guys are keeping your viewers long enough so that you can give them that impression and let them know, hey, I'm here for the long haul, guys. I want you to come in. I want you to watch me. I want you to have fun. Anything to add, Sprocket, Vero?
I am a huge naturalist when it comes to energy. I'm going to back it up a little bit. I have Lyme disease, and because of that, I have to keep my immune system up as high as I can because it basically destroyed it. To do that, I have to take a lot of natural vitamins and minerals every day. But because I take those to help my immune system, it boosts up my natural energy, so I don't have a lot of caffeine that's flowing through my body. I also have 2 kids that I run after. That gets my adrenaline pumping most of the time. So when it comes to energy for my streams, I honestly try not to go more than 3 hours at any given time, because at that point I know that's my breaking point where my energy starts to drop back down. So I'll take a half-hour break or an hour break. I'll grab something to eat, and then I'll go right back at it again.
Oh, there you go. And let me tell you, small breaks can mean a huge difference. I always take a small break even in my 3-hour streams, because keeping this level of energy, you need to get up, you need to move, and so that's one thing that you can do in order to keep that from happening. Vero, do you have anything that you'd like to add to this particular form of conversation?
As far as that, not really, but I know personally I do need to work on giving more energy in my voice and just movement and stuff, because as a person myself, I'm very laid back, so it's very new to me to just open up and just start spitting out random comments and stuff like that, so it's something I'm trying to work on.
Well, it is something that definitely takes time. It does. You do have to kind of build up to that, and that's where streaming experience is going to lend a hand to that. The more you stream, the better you're going to get at streaming. I streamed a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I was learning things. I would actually do streams that were locally recorded to my computer. Nobody ever saw them. They never went live. And the entire point was to learn how to stream. I was a streaming professional before I ever went live on the air. That was me. Each person, my collar's being weird. Each person learns differently, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with going live and learning it. I was just the type of person, I had to overcome a lot. I actually have a problem with, how would you put it, people. We'll just put it real simple. I don't like being around people. I don't like talking to people. I get very, I get an anxiety attack, panic attacks, when people are in the stream. When I first started streaming, if I saw that there was, 11, 20, 25 people in the stream, I wouldn't be able to speak. So that was something I had to work through, and I think that's what helps keep my energy up, is because of the fact that technically I'm constantly having a panic attack. And this is something that I think really, really helps. All right. Exactly. Viewers do understand people need breaks occasionally. You got to get up. You can't sit there for 4 to 6 hours doing nothing. You're going to injure your body, and you need to make sure that you're taking breaks. That's the basics of energy, why you need it and how it affects you. Just remember that if you're not displaying the energy, you are going to lose followers, and that's not what we want to see. So next up is Twitch Terms of Service and why you should read it. So I think it was last week we talked about you should read the Terms of Service on everything. Now I'm going to specifically talk about Twitch. You need to make sure that when it comes to Twitch that you are learning how everything works there. So when you're looking at it, you're going to want to read everything. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to bring up, hang on. I have the Twitch Terms of Service up. Just got to bring them over to the right screen here first. Is this it? Yeah. Boop. All right. And actually, minimize this. Okay. And in OBS, we go to with window. Here we go. Some Twitch Terms of Service stuff, guys. So this is the Twitch Terms of Service. You can actually find it on the Twitch, on twitch.tv/user/legal. Okay. And of course, they also have their API Terms of Service, privacy policies. All that stuff is listed here, so you can read through all of it. The biggest thing here, and I'm going to bring this over and look at it. So you have your introduction, you have using Twitch, all your information on what you can and cannot do is right here in Twitch. Things like copyright, DCMA, intellectual property infringement, it's all there, but you have to take the time to read it. Now, I will let you know that Twitch's Terms of Service are actually very well and clearly laid out. There's no jargon or things like that in here to get you confused. And they have things like you can contact DCMA at twitch.tv if you wish to discuss further, and you can find out further information on things like that. What happens if you repeat infringe on things, trademarks, licensing from Twitch, what you're allowed to do, what you're not. So broadcaster content, content uploading, promotions. This is one thing I wanted to talk about. So you'll notice that this is something that you may have realized Twitch had. Broadcasters may promote. It's simple enough. That's just how it works. But did you know that in the last 6 months, this has completely been rewritten? This entire section. So at one time, it used to say here that promotions weren't allowed. Donations weren't allowed. Things like that. So they've cleaned it up quite a bit to make it easier to understand. Now, the only thing that you need to watch out for is you have to follow the rules and especially the laws of your local area in order to do a giveaway. So you got to watch out because, like, as an example, if you wanted to do a giveaway in Canada and the US and you wanted to do things like subscriber only giveaways, or you wanted to do a giveaway that was for Canada and America, you got to watch out because every single place has its rights. Are you aware that if you're doing a giveaway in Canada, that you technically have to state it in French as well as English. Huh. Well, that's going to throw a wrinkle into a lot of people trying to give stuff away. Because it says right there that you must apply with local law. So that means if you want to do a giveaway that includes Canada, you actually have to make sure that you state it in French. I bet you other countries have that as well, which means that you would probably literally have to state your giveaway in every language. Now, technically on Twitch, we get away with saying this is an English-only stream. It doesn't matter. If the local law states it, you're technically supposed to follow it. Twitch isn't going to enforce this. This is up to you to enforce. If your local law enforcement were to come down on you for doing giveaways or things like that, on that sort of thing, you got to, and you, I can't even speak right now, and you were doing that, you need to make sure that, you know, you're following all of your local rules. Other than that, guys, there really, from reading this, there are no rules now on promotions. You can do donator promotions, you can do subscriber promotions, you can do all sorts of promotions. The only thing that you need to do is you need to follow your laws, you need to follow things like that. So like as an example, I don't know about in the United States, but in Canada, if you were to do a paid giveaway where you have to enter, that's now a raffle. Okay. Is the raffle for non-profit? Okay, well if the raffle's for non-profit, you can do it. There is no law in Canada stating that you cannot do it. Not a problem. You can do a raffle for non-profit. At least 50% of the proceeds of the raffle need to go to the non-profit organization you're sending it to, because that is just a non-profit rule of Canada. The other thing is, if you're keeping the money, there are forms you have to file, because there's a license you have to have, because you're now technically doing a raffle. You're doing a raffle, you need a lottery license. A lottery license isn't expensive, but you do need one. So you want to watch out for that sort of thing when you're doing giveaways and things like that. Not that giveaways are necessarily bad, but you got to watch out for that. Now, the other thing that you should know is that Twitch has covered themselves saying that they aren't held responsible for anything, and you need to state that this promotion from channel name, Twitch does not sponsor or endorse broadcaster promotions and is not responsible for them. You need to state that line right there to your audience. And the reason that you're stating that line to your audience is to tell them that, hey, Twitch has nothing to do with this promotion. That promotion is all on me. And that basically tells everyone that Twitch has nothing to do with this. They're not going to stop you. And that's the thing there that you need to watch out for. If you're not following your local laws, if you're not following the laws of the country, then you need to make sure that you are, or else you could be in trouble. So there are little things like that that you need to watch out for. You are not allowed to delete copyright off proprietary equipment. You are not allowed to do a lot of things, actually. One that I found in here that was very odd. See if I can find it. It might have been in the other section. Give me 1 second. So there is another section to this called the Rules of Conduct. The Rules of Conduct are another section that basically add to the terms of service that tell you a little more in detail things about what you can and cannot do as a streamer. Things like sexually destructive behavior, sexually explicit acts. We all know that's not allowed on Twitch, and this is just basically telling you what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. Let's take a look here. So, like, as an example, you'll probably have seen where people have done karaoke streams. I've seen this before. Must be music creation. You are literally not allowed to do karaoke, dancing to someone else's music, or lip syncing. That's right, guys. Twitch says right here, no karaoke. Yet we see people doing it all the time. And if you take a look here, video games, board games, card games, fantasy sports, LARP games, and acceptable music content are what is allowed. And while it's nice to take a break and just chill out with your audience, please ensure that your channel's primary focus is gaming or music creation. Now, the one thing that I did ask Twitch about that is allowed is something like the help desk. If you're talking about streaming and game streaming, then you're talking about game-related content, which is allowed. So you kind of got to watch out for this. The other thing that's in here somewhere, I can't remember if it's in the terms of service. Yeah, it looks like it's in the terms of service. Let's see if I can find it. Charity. Charity. All right. You agree that you will comply with these terms and will not make unsolicited offers, advertisements, proposals, or sell junk or spam to the users of the Twitch service, including without limitation unsolicited advertising, promotional materials, or other solicitation material, bulk mailing and commercial advertising, chain mail, informational announcements, charity requests, petition for signatures. Now, the problem that I see here when you're reading that is that charity requests can mean one of two things. You kind of have to watch out for this sort of thing. If you're doing a charity stream, which I know a lot of us do here, and we do here, right here on TII, we need to make sure that we're not doing charity requests, which means that when you're sending out Twitter, that you're not specifically asking for money for the charity. I've seen a few people do this, and that's not correct. You need to make sure that you are not doing that. But you are allowed to ask for money for a charity. There's nothing wrong with that. We raise tons of channels, raise money all the time for charities. It's just how you go about it. You got to make sure that you're watching your terms of service on what you can and cannot do for a charity. Are you aware that Facebook has charity laws in their terms of service? That's right. If you're doing charity and you want to do a post on Facebook, there are specific guidelines you must follow in order to do that post. So especially when you're advertising for your charity beforehand, please make sure that you're advertising and not soliciting. There's a very fine line you're walking there. So that's things that you need to know and that you need to follow, or else you're going to be in a lot of trouble when it comes to the terms of service. Guys, do you have anything that you would like to add for terms of service?
My biggest thing is the charities. Guys, you really, really need to make sure that when you do any type of a charity stream, I do it all the time. That is what I stream for. I make no money on my own. You need to have not just a donation link that might go into your own account, which I do have one that goes into PayPal, but right next to it and before it that you see first is the actual direct link to the donation page of the charity that I am publicizing that month. You know, always give that option to donate directly to that organization first before your own. That is a huge thing. Tag, like I just put up in chat, tag streaming for charity. If you do the hashtag charity, it will actually be retweeted out. So that's something that you can think of as well. Don't put in there, I'm streaming for such and such charity, because even though you're getting donations for that, unless you have worked hand in hand with that charity first, you're not actually streaming for them for that charity money. You're streaming for yourself to give to them. So there's a difference in there, and make sure that you don't get caught up between the two of those unless you're working directly with the foundation itself.
Tony, as a foreigner, how does soliciting and advertising differ? If you read the terms of service, you'll notice that it doesn't state anywhere about location when it comes to soliciting and advertising. It's the exact same no matter where you live. You don't want to be soliciting, you don't want to be advertising. You want to make sure that you are doing things properly in order to make sure that you're not having issues with the terms of service. Read it through, you'll figure it out. As far as soliciting and advertising, it's basically just a no-no when it comes to soliciting. No soliciting. Advertising is different than soliciting. Advertising things is allowed. If you have, as an example, a sponsor, you'll advertise the sponsor. If you have a charity, you'll advertise the charity on your stream. That is fine. But you want to watch out, because advertising certain charities or certain ways on like Facebook and Twitter, same issues. You got to make sure you read those terms of service, because it may be an issue. Can I play any music in the background of my stream? Yes and no. technically, if you read the Twitch Terms of Service, it states a lot of things specifically about copyright. Unless you are the copyright holder of the music, you can't play it. It's that simple. That's what they say. And at some point, they will crack down on it. I'm going to provide an example of that here in a moment, where they used to allow something that was against the terms of service, and then they cracked down on it, just so you guys can see what happens. So, if, as an example, you play Approaching Nirvana, that's perfectly allowed. We're currently listening to Approaching Nirvana. They allow anybody to play it on Twitch. They've given you the rights, per se, in order to do that. So, according to the Twitch Terms of Service, you can now play it on air. They've also told Twitch, so that Twitch doesn't ban it. There's actually an entire list of music. Let's see if I can find that link again. Twitch Music, I believe. Twitch Music. Yes. So this is their music F.A.Q. Create karaoke. How do I use the Monster Cat channel? Alright, so it's music.twitch.tv, which I'm actually going to link to you guys here in the chat. This is a list of pre-authorized music. This is all music that somebody has gone to Twitch and said, hey Twitch, you can have this music to play, not a problem. Spotify actually has said that people are allowed to play certain types of music on their thing, and they've actually given that to there, so you can take a look at where it's available, things like that. The other thing is that Monster Cat actually has a channel of non-problematic songs that you can play. You can actually go to twitch.tv/monstercat, and you can actually go to their channel, and they have a bot that'll join your channel and tell you what songs are playing, and you can play the Monster Cat channel, not a problem. There's also a wonderful, wonderful place called No Copyright Sounds, if I can find it. Yeah, No Copyright Sounds, which you can actually find on that list. I will link them as well, because they are absolutely terrific. They have some beautiful music that you are allowed to play on Twitch. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it all over the place. So that's definitely something to check out. We're going to go ahead and just minimize that now. So that is the basic stuff on what music you can play on your stream. You can't just play any music, but you can play the music that they allow. Oh, one final thing on music, and then we'll get some comments here in case anybody else wants to say anything. You can ask artists. If you can get the rights to play the music, you can play it. So as an example, I have some music that I play from an artist called Boothby Graffo. He is a United Kingdom comedian singer. Really funny music. Some of it a little inappropriate for younger ages. So you kind of got to watch what you play if you're playing on a PG stream. But it's absolutely amazing, and he gave me permission to play it on my stream. In fact, he gave me permission to do with whatever I wanted. I can make intros, I can make outros, I can do all sorts of things with his music as long as I give him the rights to that. So I have to let everyone know, hey, this is Boothby's music that I'm using. This is what I've done. Go check him out on his page, and I link that in my chat, and it's absolutely amazing. Can you record your streams and upload it to their sites, YouTube, etc.? That I don't know. When it comes to Monster Cat, you'd have to talk to them about that. Unfortunately, they don't just have that information publicly available. You send them a private message or an email. I think they have an email even on their site, and you can find out from them what they do and do not allow. As far as I know, the Monster Cat music can be used on YouTube as long as you're still playing a game. It's not like you can just record them and put them up. That's not what that's for. You've missed a couple of things there. seriously, we have a lot to go through, tons of information. Unfortunately, I can't really go back through it. You missed about 45 minutes, but we have a ton more that we're going to be going through, and you can always catch the VOD afterwards, guys. Guys, do you guys have anything you want to bring up about music, copyright, anything in there?
As far as the music, I'm not too clear on whether you can play video game music in the background of games that you have already bought. So that's one that I would like to know personally, because there's a lot of great soundtracks to music that you have bought the soundtracks for, and I would like to be able to play them in other games that I'm playing in the background. So that's one. But as far as soliciting and advertising goes, guys, if you have a sponsor, and let's say, for example, it's Razer, and you have this great Razer headset on, and you go, guys, I just got this awesome headset, and it's wonderful. I think you guys should go out and get there. You're going to get in trouble because you're not allowing the viewers to know that they are your sponsor. The correct thing should have been, hey guys, my sponsor's Razer's just sent me these headset. They're awesome, the best things I've ever used. Go check them out and see if you like them. So you have to watch the wording on when you're advertising stuff in your stream. Now, like me, I do not have Logitech as my sponsor. I do not have any sponsors, but I tell people a lot when they ask what type of headset I use. I tell them, look, I've got these Logitech headsets. I've bought the last 4 generations of them because to me, it's one of the best headsets that I've ever used. So there's your difference for examples in soliciting and advertising. Make sure you do it correct, because Twitch is coming down on people that have sponsors, and they're not telling people that these are their specific sponsors when advertising the equipment that they're using. So please watch out for that.
Exactly. Vero, do you have anything you'd like to state on the matter?
Not really. I mean, I'm not really. Pretty much whenever I stream, I just use the game music that's already in it, and as far as my little intro thing, I just use Monster Cat since I heard of it. And as far as advertising, I don't really have to worry about that yet, so I can't really put any knowledge towards that. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. And I completely agree with you, Darius Lee. You can go on SoundCloud, message the users, and say, hey, I really like your music. Can I go ahead and use that on my stream? What permission are you giving me? Can I modify it? Can I chop it up? What can I do with it? Find out, by the way, what permissions you're granted, because if you go to an artist and you go, hey, can I use your music on my stream? And he says yes, that means you can use his music on your stream. That doesn't mean that you can modify the music. It's very important to know what your rights are with the music. As an example, you're allowed to play Monster Cat music, but you are not allowed to take Monster Cat's music and claim it as your own. You are also not allowed to take sections of Monster Cat music, break it up, and use it in recordings. You need to make sure that you have the permissions that you need in order to make the music that you need. I do want to quickly go over what we've completed so far. Of course, we just finished Twitch Terms of Service. That's what we were just talking about with the music. How to talk for hours on end, and talking about keeping up your energy on your stream. Nope, I keep scrolling down on that. I gotta remember not to do that. All right, so that is the basic information on Twitch Terms of Service, guys. I hope that I got most of your questions on that. I did see one for... I did see a question. Where'd it go? Oh, so can't... No. Oh, apparently it was just Moobot. Dang, Moobot. All right, guys. So charity streams and how they help. So this isn't necessarily about doing charity streams, but of course we're going to get into that as well. But what this is how charity streams can help you. And the one thing that I will state is I'm really big on self-promotion. Everything I talk to is about self-promotion and improving yourself as a streamer. That doesn't mean that that's all that's out there. Doing charity streams to help charities just for the benefit of the charity is a great thing to do. Sprocket is one that does that all of the time. She's constantly on charity streams, helping out the charities. She doesn't even really stream all that often on her own channel, and she doesn't even like the shout outs to be for her. She prefers it to be for, whatever charity she's helping out at the time, or, for TII themselves helping us out, which is absolutely terrific. So I'm going to tell you how charity streams help. So if you are on a charity stream, a lot of the times the charity stream will give you the permission to, advertise your own channel, whether that's a link in the corner, whether that's posting it in chat every so often. You'll see Moobot's posting me right now. This isn't a charity stream, but it's the same idea. Moobot is sitting there, it's posting the information, letting you know where I am located, and you can click my name, you can hit the follow button, you can do whatever you'd like. And that's one thing that a charity stream can do for you. It gets people that normally wouldn't see you to see you. They're donating money for the charity, and you are getting your name out there. Charity streams do take time. A lot of the times they're 24, 48, 7-day streams. And you will be part of that, You might be on for 24 hours. You might be on for 2 hours. It really just depends. There might be certain times when everybody needs to be on. But you're getting your name out there, you're getting yourself out there, people are getting to know you, and people are going to follow you, whether or not you like it. Even Sprocket, who does not advertise herself, she gets followers constantly. Guarantee it. You go over to her channel right now, she's probably got a list of followers. How many? I don't know. I've never really looked. I'm not one concerning myself as far as followers, but it is a great way to get your name out there. I'm actually going to throw this one to Sprocket because she knows a lot about charity streams, and I'm hoping she'll have some insight on this, as well as tell us a little bit more about what it's like to work on a charity stream. Sprocket?
Getting into charity streaming, the mindset you have to have is that you are doing this for yourself to help other people. So don't put yourself in the background too much. I don't use a cam that shows my face because it's not about me, but I always have something up and my voice is always heard. I'm constantly talking and always telling people that the charity that I'm working with or a charity in real life that I might be working with, it's more important than actually watching me. So my voice is my actual face when it comes to this. Working with charity groups, I do work with a few charity 24/7 streams that are on Twitch itself. One of the few times I'm actually going to do shout outs to something other than TII, because TII does beautiful charity work, which we do have one coming up the end of August, by the way. Rise Up Gaming is huge when it comes to charity streaming. They do a lot of different charities. They have one almost every month. Anywhere from 3 days to 10 days. TII has one that they're doing for 7 days that's coming up. Getting yourself positioned into working with them is as easy as contacting one of the people that streams on that channel. They will lead you in the right direction for staff members or admins that are going to be doing the next charity. It's a great thing when you do stuff for charity. I do have followers. I get more followers offline of my own stream channel than I do when I'm actually on them. I might get 1 follower a day when I'm streaming on my own. When I'm on a charity channel, I get about 5 to 10. And that's the given time that's in there. You can stream anywhere from an hour to 4 hours, 5 hours at a time. But guys, if you're going to do charity for your own channel, there's 2 ways to do this. As I stated earlier, I have a direct link to the charity that I am streaming for that week, that day, that month. And I have my own link to, if you want to donate just directly to me to get it, and you want to do an anonymous donation to that charity. So you use either link that you want to. The other thing that you want to remember when you're doing charity streams is if you want to use any videos or music that they have on their website or up on YouTube, please contact that foundation or organization to make sure you have the rights to use that, because they can shut you down on Twitch if you don't do that. I mean, it's more common sense than anything. It's just like the music. Make sure you have the rights, because sometimes when you contact these foundations, they give you extra stuff. They give you these great little pictures to use, or they give you this awesome video that you didn't even know was out there for them. I don't know. You gotta let me know what else you want to know about charity streaming, and I could probably talk for hours on it. It's something I get all excited about.
The other thing that I do want to bring about for charity streaming, if you're looking at wanting to start a charity stream yourself, or you're working with somebody trying to set up a charity stream, there is actually a community manager for charity at Twitch. That's right. He actually is part of AGDQ, as far as I'm aware. And you can contact Twitch, and you can be like, hey, I'm looking at running a charity, da-da-da-da-da, and you can find out more information. The charity community manager might even come to your show. He might help you out, telling you what sponsors that you can talk to, things like that, so that you can get prizes to give away and things like that. There is a dedicated manager just for charity here at Twitch, because even they know that the charity is important, and that we do it because we want to help. It's technically, don't go to a charity going, I'm going to promote myself, that's what I'm going to do, and not care about the charity. No, it's all about the charity. But the fact that you do get promotion is like a secondary benefit. It's like, hey, if you order your burger now, we'll upsize your fries for free. You still got to order the fries, but hey, they'll give you a few extra. And it's always great, but not necessary. You're still going to order that burger whether or not that fries were going to be upsized. Well, that's a very odd question. All right, so that's it for charity streams and how they help you. That is a fairly major thing. We are going to take a quick break here, guys. I actually do have a little bit to share with you guys on break, so this is going to be an amazing new thing. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Enjoy the break, guys, and we'll see you in a moment. And where's my break screen? No, apparently Twitch has decided, oh sorry, not Twitch, the system has decided it's going to be really weird. Alright guys, see you in a few minutes. Hey guys, and welcome to the Helpdesk infomercial. We're here to talk to you about noise gates. We're going to tell you everything you need to know in order to set up your noise gate on OBS today, so that you can go ahead and set it up and not have background noise bleeding through on your cast. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, as you see here, we have a beautiful program called OBS. Up here in the corner, right here where my fingers are, I'm kind of blocking it with my face, is the settings button. We're going to go ahead, we're going to click on settings, and then we're going to go into settings. Once we're in there, we're going to click on the microphone noise gate tab. Okay, so once we're on microphone noise gate, this is where you set up your noise gate. Now, you should have preview mode on when you're doing this. So let's go ahead and just turn off the settings here. Down there in the series of buttons, you'll see one that says preview stream. Make sure that's turned on while you're doing this, because setting up the noise gate, you need your microphone active so that you can go ahead and set it up. So once you're done that, you've hit the preview stream, you've come in here, you go to the noise gate section. In between the close and open threshold bars that you can set here will be a little green bar bouncing around. If you talk, it's going to go up. If you're quiet, it's going to go down. It's real simple. On the right hand side, you have your general. You have your enable noise gate. That's basically turning it on and off. First thing you need to do, turn it on. Attack time, milliseconds. This is how long it takes for this to go from closed to open. So it's kind of like a fade in period. You want that really, really small unless you want it to fade in. I don't recommend it. I have mine actually set to 10. The generic, I believe, is 25. Hold time. This is the amount of time the microphone will stay open after you're done talking. The reason for that is because when we're talking, we usually get softer at the end of our sentences. We want to make sure that it's going to go ahead and keep that open. I have mine set to 400. the default is 200. Release time. So this is when you first open the threshold, even if you're quiet, how long till it releases. This doesn't have to be really long unless you're talking quietly. You might want to have that set to longer if you find that it's cutting you off a lot. This is set to 150. I've left mine at 150. Next up, we have the close and open threshold. These sections are the most important part. The close threshold section is at what level should it turn the mic off or stop listening to the microphone. The open threshold is at what noise level it should actually start using the microphone again. So those are your 2 points that you need to adjust. The first thing you want to do is just sit with your microphone on and quietly breathe. If the green bar is going over your close threshold, you need to turn your close threshold up until it's above the green bar while you're just sitting there breathing. Don't breathe heavily, don't do anything weird, just normal breathing like this. Real simple. You guys should have heard nothing there. Now, once you have that set up, you can go to the open threshold. The open threshold's a little bit harder to figure out. It's the point that you want it to activate when you start talking. My recommendation is to take your normal voice, cut it down. So now you're talking like this. You want to make sure that when you're talking quietly like this, that your threshold is still being met. If it's not being met, you're going to have an issue. So that's one thing that you need to know when it comes to the open threshold. You need to be able to catch a lower level voice, an excited level voice, and everything in between. So you want to make sure that you have it set to a nice setting. You also may want to test it by using the record system in OBS to make sure that it's hitting those pauses properly and not cutting you off at any point while you're talking. Well, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the preview, and I hope it provided you the valuable information you were looking for. Have a good evening.
What's up, people? Indy's here, and I want to talk to you about something amazing called the Indie Initiative. The Indie Initiative is a variety channel on Twitch that is live almost 24/7. Just go to twitch.tv/The Indie Initiative and check it out. We made this channel as a way to help streamers come together, form communities, gain followers, and build up their own channel. We have all kinds of stream on that channel. We have indie gamers, we've got AAA gamers, we've got people that make art, and they all bring something different for you to get that perfect Twitch experience. With new streamers joining every month, you will always discover somebody that you didn't know about. We have some great things coming up in the near future that you don't want to miss. I really want you to come to the channel at twitch.tv/The Indie Initiative and check it out. You might even want to apply and join these amazing streamers yourself. So come on and check it out. This is Indy, and I will talk to you later. Peace.
And we're back, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming out and helping us out here. We've got a ton more stuff to come, and we've still got just under an hour left to go. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask them here in chat, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. Again, I do apologize if there are some technical issues with the stream. There has been a few internet issues in the area, and hopefully I'm not cutting out or anything like that like I was at the beginning. But if there's issues, please let us know. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be talking about, streaming consistency. The biggest thing that you need when it comes to streaming is to be consistent. You need to pick a time and you need to stream during that time. I understand that it can sometimes be difficult to pick a time and do that, but if you want to be serious about streaming and not just, having fun streaming on your machine whenever you want, then you need to have a schedule. Does it need to be 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 20 days a week? Yeah, like there's 20 days in a week, right? Sometimes it can feel like that if you're trying to do a 7-day-a-week stream. No, it does not. But it needs to be consistent. As an example, here on the Indie Initiative, we do Helpdesk. Helpdesk happened every Friday. It's been moved to every Thursday. But if you look at the streaming times in our schedule down below here, you'll see that it's listed as to when it's going to be live. If you go over to my channel, I have a streaming schedule that I put up letting you know when I'm going to be available to stream, when I'm not. Currently, if you go over there, there's no streaming schedule, and that's exactly what it tells you because I haven't been streaming. I've been prioritizing life over streaming at this point, so I haven't been streaming nearly as often, nearly as consistently, because I just don't have the ability to do it. But if you want to take streaming seriously, if you're the one person that wants to look at getting partnered amongst all of the other people streaming, consistency is key. Not necessarily how often you're streaming, but when you're streaming. You need to make sure that people are aware when you're going live, what time you're going to be going live, and for how long you're going to be live. That way people know when to show up, when to watch, and when not to. Sprocket, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes. Unlike me, if you change your schedule, make sure you change it on your actual page itself. I just recently changed my schedule, which I have not been able to change it on my own stream yet, but I'm trying my schedule out for a week or two to make sure that that's what I really want to do. Changing your schedule is not a bad thing. Try not to change it week to week. Try to go a 2-week time frame before changing the schedule again, because you may find you get more followers a certain time of the day that you were trying out. So really look at all aspects before you change your schedule too much.
Perfect. I don't think I could have been more concise myself. That's absolutely correct. And really, that's what you need to do for consistency. The biggest thing is keeping it up. And the one thing I wanted to state on that fact is the fact that when you're streaming, sometimes when you're streaming, even 3 days a week, you do this for weeks upon weeks upon weeks on end, and it may seem like you're taking a Corvette and running it through the mud. And you're not getting anywhere. Just sitting there spinning your tires, doing absolutely nothing. But slowly but steadily, you will make your way forward. You will get more followers. You will get more viewers. It takes time. The biggest thing is, between a successful streamer and a non-successful streamer, you talk to any successful streamer, they've been streaming for years. You start now, and it's going to take a long time in order to get partnered. Does that mean that it's impossible to do in, say, 3 months, 6 months? No. There have been streamers that have done it, but it takes an incredible amount of luck if you wanted to stream and get partnered in, say, 3 to 6 months. Most people have been streaming for 2 years to get partnered, sometimes longer. It does take time, and if you keep trying, you're going to get better at it, and you're going to get more people watching, and you're going to have fun. And that's the entire thing. If you're not having fun, then this might not be the right place for you. In order to keep streaming, you need to have something for yourself. You need to be able to go and say, hey, I enjoy what I'm doing, or hey, I'm helping out people in need with Sprocket and her nonprofit stuff. If you have something to stream for, it makes it so much easier. Even if it is 2 or 3 people that you're providing enjoyment to every day, it's the way to go. If you stream for weeks on end to 0 people, it can be disheartening. And the only thing I can say is just don't let it get to you. Avoid it. If you have to, don't watch your streamer numbers, because streamer numbers will fluctuate wildly. Just in the course of this episode so far, we've been as low as 7 viewers and as high as 20 viewers. People will come, people will go. Just because the numbers change doesn't mean that you should change. Make sure that you are doing the best job you can at all times and that you're having fun. If you're getting discouraged, it's probably time to take a break. Does that mean stop streaming altogether? No. Take a week off. Go have fun. Hang out with your friends. If you're old enough, go to the bar. Do things that people do when they're not streaming, because streaming does take an exorbitant amount of time. It's not just the streaming itself. Remember that. If you're just doing the stream, you're not doing any prep, then you're not doing it right. I spend, at a minimum, 2 hours for every stream offline preparing. And that could be things like making sure the game is set up, making sure that the game works and doesn't crash, making sure that I have the information for Helpdesk, researching various topics, doing write-ups, reviewing the information that I've written down about my followers, about the people that come and check me out, making sure that I have my layout properly, because I have to have my music on that screen, sorry about that, guys, my chat in a particular area. If my chat's not in a particular area, I'm not going to see it. And if I can't see it, I'm not going to see when Trigger says something like never get discouraged, because it's very important that you follow things like that you are aware of that information, and that we keep going like that. So the numbers can get you down, people can get you down, and that's going to move us on to our next thing, avoiding issues on Twitch. But before we move on to that, anything else you'd like to add, Sprocket, or are we good?
It does come down to really finding that right time to stream. I stream easily at a minimum 12 hours a week, and that's just my own channel and 2 other channels that I stream on. But those 12 hours that I stream, I easily have 36 hours of work to include the streaming time that I do. So I'm doing twice as much work off stream as I am doing on. Getting set up. Today my face rig didn't work. Really ticked me off with it. I just shut it down. I will deal with that another time. But if you want to be successful in streaming and be happy with what you're doing, if getting the people on Twitch is not working, upload a couple of highlights to YouTube. Maybe that'll do it. It takes 5 minutes to do it, guys. Just send it over there. Maybe somebody will put a nice little catchy thing of what it is. Maybe somebody will look up and catch you over there. If the time is not working correctly, like if you stream way early in the morning, maybe think about changing to a little bit later in the morning or earlier in the evening, and see if that helps you out with that. Please don't get discouraged. If this is what you truly and really honestly want to do, don't let it get you down. There's many times I have streamed for 0 people on my own channel, but I'll tell you what, when you get those 5-10 people in your stream, or you go on to a 24/7 channel or a charity channel like I have, and you get those 2,000 people, that rush that you get is unbelievable, and it will re-energize you to want to keep streaming again. So don't give up.
Exactly.
Just keep going at it.
And when I talk about, the hours of work, let's just give a little context. Now, Sprocket, I know that you set up that new face rig system. How much time do you think you spent offline setting it up?
Oh, easily I've already spent 20 hours on it, and I've had it less than a week.
Exactly. And you said it wasn't working today, correct?
I hold on. I believe it was my computer because I had Windows updates today, I had Steam updates today, I had XSplit updates today. So it could have very easily been all of those combined and me only having the computer shut down for a few minutes before I decided to start streaming that it just completely messed it up. So I just closed it down for today. After we get done with the help desk, I will be bringing it back up after I get my son down for a nap and going at it again to make sure it works properly for my next stream.
So what you're saying is that you spent 20 hours on it, and it broke for some reason. Could have been updates, things like that. Might just be a reboot. That's all that's needed. But what you're saying is that after help desk today, you're going to be spending more time offline getting it working again.
That's correct. I will be spending yet more time on my stream to make sure that it works. I do this a lot. I take one day a week, which is why I don't stream on Saturdays, and I spend about 2 hours going through all of my streams that I've done all week, highlighting them and sending them off to YouTube. But that's another 2 hours of my off time that I'm already spending on something.
Exactly. And it takes a lot of work. It's not just about streaming. You need to make sure that you're doing things like highlighting, starting your YouTube channel, getting stuff over there, because people can find you through that. Making sure you're sending out Twitter posts, not just when you're about to go live, but randomly. If you watch the Indie Initiative, you're going to see probably 3 help desk tweets every week just about help desk. People are retweeting, people are sending the information out all over the place. I'm sending messages to places like iBuyPower, Twitch, other major companies going, hey guys, anything you'd like to say? Because like iBuyPower is a huge place. They have a lot of hardware, some great deals, and sometimes, they might say something on help desk. I've had them stop by before, check out the stream, and you never know what can happen. So you got to get those promotions out there just from messaging Twitch and iBuyPower, which were 2 separate messages that I sent out from my Twitter. I gained 3 new Twitter followers. That's 3 new potential viewers when I tweet that I'm going live on my show. Will they show up every time? Maybe, maybe not. But you all found the Indie Initiative somehow, didn't you? And it's all through advertising in different ways. So make sure that you're doing your offline work. Streaming is not necessarily it. If you're streaming 6 hours a day, you're probably spending another 4 hours a day offline doing offline work. If you're streaming 3 hours, you're probably spending half that. So you understand what I'm getting, and you're getting a lot of stuff in order to stream. You know what, Darius? There's nothing wrong with family members quote-unquote trolling you while you're streaming. Sprocket here has to deal with little troll constantly while she's streaming. Isn't that right, Sprocket?
Oh, family. If they bother you during your stream, embrace it. Have fun with it, because it will be one of the best things ever. I have 2 little boys. One of them I named Little Troll, because that's exactly what he does the entire time I'm streaming. He just trolls me. He's constantly running in, telling me what Little Goblin is doing. And I named him properly because Little Goblin eats everything in my house, which is why Little Troll is always coming to me. So have fun when your family actually comes in, especially if it's a hot mic that you have and they come in and go, oh, hey, how's your day been? Or you forgot to do this. That's where you can take your break, or that's where you can insert any little quip that you want to into your stream. Embrace having family mess with you. Don't hide it.
Exactly.
Have fun.
The one thing that you should be aware of course, if you're streaming and other family members are going to be around, parents, brothers, sisters, children aren't so bad, husband, wife, anything like that, make sure that they're aware that you're streaming. And you need to make sure that they are aware that you're streaming, because you don't want them to come in and start spouting off things like your home address and your full name and things like that. So just make sure that you are watching for those sorts of things. Stream that goes off without a problem. Stream that's not normal. Exactly, the indie gamer. If you don't have an issue during your stream, something's not right. And that means you're not putting yourself out there enough. You're not taking enough chances. The fact that your family's going to walk in on you, not a problem. It happens. If you set up a noise gate, if they talk softly, the stream won't hear them at all. If they talk noisily, the stream's going to hear them. Play right into that. Your mom comes in and says, hey, you need to put your socks in the laundry basket. You go, okay, Mom. And you can literally do that right then. Take a break, don't take a break, do it right then, get it taken care of, right on stream. Why? Why not? It's a ton of fun. We're here to have fun. You're here to have fun. Let's keep it fun, right? Streaming consistency doesn't necessarily mean no interruptions. It means you go live the same time every day. So next up... Oh, wait, did you have something to add?
Yeah, actually, I was going to add to that. A stream that goes without a problem is not a normal stream. Today on TII, right before Helpdesk, my game sound was messing up. It could barely be heard. We couldn't figure out what was going on. This ties in with the family interruptions. It turns out that little goblin messed with my sound mixer and turned my XSplit volume almost all the way down. Well, my main sound goes through XSplit. It's from my headset. So guess what? That being turned down, you couldn't hear my game at all. Took me 40 minutes to figure this out, but I kept the stream going. I tried everything else before I realized that that's what it was. This is what streaming is all about, guys. You got to have fun with it. If you let it get to you, you're in the wrong business. If you're going to rage, make it as funny as you possibly can.
Exactly. And the other thing that you guys need to know... Spooner, I'm just going to take a quick break here. I want to say, Spooner, I want to thank you very much for that shout-out. The fact that you got your stream working, it's not stuttering or buffering, is great, man. You know what? I'm going to throw you a follow. I'm going to come check out your stream, dude. And if it's a good stream, I want to stream together. That's the entire point of this, is getting other people streaming, getting you guys successfully going. And you know what? Feel free to join in on me. We'll have some fun together, and who knows what could happen. Maybe you'll join the Indie Initiative. Maybe you'll join Rise Up Gaming. Maybe you'll join one of the other great networks out there. But that is something that we're going to talk about shortly. Everyone, Trigger has joined the chat. How's it going, Trigger?
Howdy, howdy.
So, Trigger, why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself. This is the first time you've been on the show.
Oh, trust me, the way I got into here is... It's a long story, but me, I've been live streaming since 2010. During the time that I was using Xfire, and since Xfire quitted their original streaming service, I switched over to Twitch and Hitbox.
Well, there you go.
I don't have the highest amount of followers, but I still continue on live streaming at a normal rate.
That's what it's for. You keep up with that persistence, and one day you just might get what you're looking for, right?
Oh, always. Always having fun. That's the main objective of it all. I'm having fun. The people that join in are having fun. And to be honest, like you, I've actually helped out other people that have wanted to start live streaming themselves.
Well, there you go. And it's a big thing. And, you can feel free to come on the show at any time. Are you actually a member of the Indie Initiative? I would assume so if you know the TeamSpeak.
I know the TeamSpeak because I'm one of the moderators with Indie and with one other individual that likes to help with creating interfaces and helping other live streamers, some of them that have become part of the Indie Initiative.
So are you part of
I know, it's a bit of a long story.
Are you part of the Indie Army?
In a way, unofficially.
Indie, you know the TeamSpeak.
AMD fanboys.
Well, it's not a problem. You found your way in here, and that's not a problem. So as long as you have the info, I'm sure you're supposed to be in here, so that's good to go. Guys, next up, we have avoiding issues on Twitch. So now, there are lots of issues to avoid, different types of issues, and I'm actually not going to say a word on this. I'm going to throw it to Sprocket first, because I bet you she's got tons to say on this, and I really want to hear what she has to say about avoiding issues on Twitch and where she's going to go with it, because there are different ways that you could go. All right, Sprocket, you ready?
Well, I guess so.
All right, so tell us about avoiding issues on Twitch. I'm going to sit back and listen.
It all depends on what kind of issues you're going to end up with, because there are numerous amounts of issues that you can have. The first one and foremost is Twitch being twitchy. It happens all the time. Twitch just for some reason decides, no, you are not going to stream at this moment. You are going to have to sit back, relax, fiddle around with something else until I decide that you are going to connect to your channel. And that's exactly what you have to do. Shut down your browser, restart your computer, do whatever you have to see if it's really Twitch or your computer. That is the biggest one. Twitch will troll you the hardest out of everything else that is going to go wrong with your stream. The next is dealing... One of my biggest issues with Twitch is the chat. It doesn't always show. If just because it's not showing, it will eventually come up. Just keep talking like you normally would. Just keep having a conversation, whether it's in your own head that you're speaking out loud, or whether it is something else that you just want to talk about until you can see the chat up on the side with you. Black Dog brought up earlier, check the terms of service. If Twitch is down and you can't stream, go check to make sure that they didn't slip something in there on you that you might need to know about that day. There is so much that could go wrong and so many things that you want to avoid with issues on Twitch. One of my biggest issues that I've seen in other people's chats are trolls, are people that try to get the streamers to break down on their stream. And I've seen people try to do this with even big streamers. Don't allow that to happen. Step in if you think you have to. Be nice about it of, hey, you know, have a little bit of respect for the streamer, or, you know, something along that lines. But that's a whole different issue. Sorry, I need to get a drink of water here.
That's
in
all right.
Just a minute.
So, Sprocket is absolutely right on that particular fact. There are tons of different issues. It could be Twitch stopping you from streaming. I've spent days where I couldn't stream because Twitch decided that they were going to break. I couldn't access my own panels. I couldn't access any information on my account. I could watch others stream, and people in the US were streaming perfectly fine. It was outside of the US that was an issue. And took them days to get it fixed. It actually took them 2 days to figure out there was a problem with all of us, you know, tweeting them and sending them support requests saying, hey, what the heck is going on here? Get it fixed. And they finally did get it fixed and were able to stream again, which is great. But yeah, there's all sorts of weird problems. I do want to take this time to talk about Abominable Snowman saying, hair doesn't matter. What you look like, everybody is going to have a different look. Everybody's going to be different. Long hair, short hair, scraggly, scruffy beard, long beard, no beard, big, small, somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter. There are guys that have thousands upon thousands of viewers that weigh more than my desk. And my desk is a 1980 solid steel desk. So that gives you a kind of weight information on my desk. It's about 500 pounds, and I can guarantee you there's a streamer out there who's doing well who weighs as much as my desk. There are streamers that have long hair, scraggly hair. There are streamers with no hair, beards, no beards. It doesn't matter. Stream. Decide what you want to do. If you eventually decide to get a haircut, you get a haircut. If you don't, you don't. At one point I had longer hair. Now I've got short hair. Things change all of the time. Hair, facial size, none of that really matters. And this is a big thing for avoiding issues on Twitch, because you're going to get trolls. And when you get trolls, sometimes you just gotta ban them. So you gotta watch out for that sort of thing, because trolls can be weird, trolls can be rude, trolls can sometimes say things that they're not even aware is being rude. I've had people come in all the time telling me that I look old. And that's because I look old. You take a look at my hair. I've got gray stripes all along the sides here. The top of my hair is perfectly normal, but I got these huge gray stripes. I've had them since I was 16. Makes me look much older than I am. And a lot of people will state, how old are you? You look like you're 45. Well, I'm 29. And it just takes some getting used to. Once you understand that, you know, I'm going to have gray hair, things are going to be that way, you have two options. You can either A, cover it up, or B, embrace it. And I say embrace it. Trolls are going to be everywhere. If I colored my hair, they're just going to complain about how big I am. I've got wide shoulders. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", 300 pounds. That's me. I'm massive. I'm a big guy, but I'm not super overweight. Am I a little overweight? Absolutely. But according to my doctor, I'm still perfectly fine within my BMI, my body mass index. So that's fine. Exactly, the indie gamers. Sometimes you're going to get people that you need to ban, and that does happen. You just got to take care of it right away. Sprocket, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yesterday when I was streaming?
Oh, wow. I don't think I had to pull out the ban hammer so much as I did yesterday for this stream. For some reason, it's never a really known reason other than Minecraft is Minecraft, and for some odd reason, Minecraft is the food of trolls. They seek out the Minecraft streams. But we had a lot of bad trolls that came in yesterday, and we all started just by purging what they said. It's a 1-second timeout. And we asked them nicely not to do it again, and none of them would listen. So we gave them a 5-minute, just timeout and 10 minutes. And finally we're just like, all right, look, you've already gone through this 4, 5, 6 times. It's not sinking in. And we have to ban these people. And we tried to change the chat as it was scrolling on the side to something different, and sometimes they just won't. So unfortunately we did have to ban a few people. I do know that most of them were on a 24-hour ban, not a perma ban. I think there was only one person that got a perma ban, and that's because they didn't scroll down there and look at our rules that are down there, and they decided that they were going to really start harassing Dog here, and you don't do that to any of our casters. You don't do that to anybody that's on Twitch or any other streaming platform. It's bad etiquette. It's rude and very, very disrespectful to not only the casters, but the people that are trying to enjoy the cast as well. So there's a difference between the fun-loving trolls that come in that just poke around and have fun with you, which are my heckler trolls, which there are a lot of, and I appreciate them, and ones that actually try to damage your stream. So make sure you can catch the difference there. Give them the benefit of the doubt the first few times of trying to play it off as a joke or get them onto something else.
So guys, I'm just going to take a quick question to let you know who you're talking to here. So the lady you guys are hearing is Sprocket. She's a wonderful streamer. She normally doesn't like to shout out herself, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you just got to shout people out, let them know if you can spell things right, where their channel's located so they can go ahead and follow you. The other thing is that we also have another person who's not actually a member of the Indie Initiative, but he's been around for a while, Trigger FTU. He's a great streamer. I've actually checked out a lot of different things, and I haven't checked him out yet, guys, but I do recommend you do. So I'm going to go ahead and post it. As far as I'm aware, he's a streamer. That's what he says. So go ahead, click that link, check him out, guys, because it is completely worth it. He's come to help us out on the help desk today. And Trigger, do you have anything you'd like to state about trolls?
Only thing I can say about trolls is I've had my nice fill of them. Best thing you can do is just either, tell them to chill out. There's some friends that I know that stream, they are more or less lenient with them. I know with one of them, he always gets trolls that call him, Mohammed Jesus or some crazy stuff like that. And recently he's put up, we're going to be more lenient with these guys. We're going to tell them, all right, chill, follow the rules. We understand that you think this guy sounds like Bob Ross or he looks like this person, but and if they continue on, you got no other choice but to hit the ban button or time them out for a little while. You'll always get them, no matter what.
Oh, exactly. The one thing that I love to do when a troll comes into my channel is first, if they have a lame troll, like they tell me that I'm old, or that I'm fat, or that I'm old and fat, because sometimes I like to combine the two, I don't ban them. I don't even time them out or purge them. I just let them know, you're right. In fact, if you scroll down in my information section, you'll see that information is answered right there. I put down, the fact of how old I am and exactly what my weight is and things like that. I had that on my channel for the longest time because why not? There's no point in not. If you can talk to a troll and make them like you, it's a great way to go. Sugar on everything. I talk to people constantly. We get trolls in the chat, I talk to them. We get regular people in the chat, I talk to them. They're all technically viewers. And let me tell you, there is a ton of people who will come and just try to wreck your show. And at that point, you need to ban them. I generally only give them a short ban. I don't even do 24-hour generally. 6, 3, 1, just enough time so that they can think about what they've done. And if they come back and continue doing it, they get a longer ban. And you know what I mean? You got to keep a list and kind of watch. I actually have a system that records everything that happens in chat so that I can see later what I did, who got banned, how long they were banned, and that way I can, use that information later if I absolutely need to. There is a ton of stuff that you need to know when it comes to that sort of thing, and you got to have a thick skin. If you don't have a thick skin, it's going to get to you. And I've seen quite a few streamers where the trolls have actually gotten to them, and when the trolls get to them, they stop streaming, and that's very, very sad because some of them are really, really good streamers. We'd never want to see that happen. We never want to see a streamer stop streaming because of trolls. So remember, if you have to, ban them outright, permanent. Don't let them come back, because those trolls, if they're going to get to you, could in fact be that straw that stops you from streaming. So just make sure that you guys have all the information at your disposal. You try to keep things good, and if you have issues, let me know. I'll help you out if absolutely needed. You need an admin? You can come talk to one of us. Maybe we'll come check out your channel, and you can admin people you know, friends, just to try to keep the trolls out, because you can't always be on top of absolutely everyone that comes in the channel. I know that, there's this person named Sprocket in the channel that keeps saying stuff. I randomly keep wanting to ban her. I'm just too busy to do it. And one of these days, one of the admins in our channel is going to catch her, and they're just going to ban her outright. But, for now, she'll stick around. Isn't that right?
Oh, well, of course I'm going to stick around. I love to troll you. It's too much fun not to.
So there's fun trolling, and then there's mean trolling, guys. You just got to make sure that you understand which is which and which ones to follow. Once you have that information and you know which trolls you can live with, which ones you can't, you're going to have a ton of fun streaming. The trolls can actually make your stream better if you use them properly. All right, go ahead.
Do you mind if I do a quick plug for one of my groups?
Plug it.
Guys, now on a serious note, if you have those trolls that come in that will just not stop hounding you, you ban them, they make another account, they come back in. You ban them again, they make another account and come back in. We've had one of those yesterday. If they get to you to that point where you cannot handle what is going on, Rise Up Gaming. Remember this channel and remember this group of people. Rise Up Gaming. Go to their 24-hour channel. Tell the people that are there, the mods that are there, that you have somebody that is trolling you. They are dedicated to helping the streamers get rid of those trolls, the racism, the bigotry, just every type of hatred that you could possibly think of. That is what they are for. That is their main purpose with charity work, to help this community grow and not be afraid to stream on your own channel. So yes, if you have that problem and it gets that bad, go talk to them. They will help you out.
Exactly, and they have a ton of people that they help out all the time. That's what they're there for, and it's great. All right, so I did see a question from Adonable Snowman. This could be a troll question, but either way, I think it's a decent question. Chairs. I'm going to stand up here. I'm going to let you guys see my chair. This here is a beautiful chair. This is a DX Racer chair that is something that a lot of streamers use. This one here is the large edition for big men, but they come in many, many different sizes. They come in many, many different shapes. They're about $500 for the chair, between $400 and $500. I have what's referred to as a steel racer chair in the other room that's $1,500 for an office chair. Why do I have expensive chairs? It's because, and even Failseed knows, you gotta have a good place to sit. If you're sitting here and you're streaming for 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours and you have a crappy chair, by the end of it, you're going to feel it. And it's not going to be good. I can sit in this chair 12 hours a day. My back doesn't hurt. Honestly, my ass cheeks feel nice and comfortable. It's got just enough padding, but just enough support. But in the end, it keeps things going. I work from this location. This is where I do my job. And without a good chair, you're going to have an issue. The only problem that I have with DX Racers is their leather. And I don't know how many people have sat in a leather chair before for multiple hours on end. They don't breathe. So the heat builds up and you start to sweat on your back. And let me tell you, your back will get soaked if you sit leaning against the chair the entire time. So if you notice, I sit up from the chair, but I sit up straight, and that way I get the breathing that I need behind the chair. Guys, do you guys personally use really good office chairs, or are you just using the $100 Walmart special? And what problems or good things do you find with your chair? Sprocket, let's start with you.
I actually have a really decent chair. It's not cheap, but it's not too expensive. I think we paid about $80-90 for it. We found it on sale. But my big thing that I look for is something that's soft on the bum, because I do a lot of sitting here, and something that has really good lower lumbar support. You need something that's going to support your back no matter what it's for. I would love to have a racer. I mean, that's like something I would love to be able to have. But I actually sat in one for a couple of hours and it did more harm to me, but that's because I have extreme back problems. So make sure you find the chair that's right for you. Make sure that if you buy that chair, if it's not the right one, you're allowed to take them back. Or they come with really good, little accessories like Dogs Over Here does. But those are things you have to look for. Now, we've had this chair for about 5 months, and it's extremely comfortable for me because it has that extra padding in my lower back, and that's where I need it. And it has nothing at the top of my shoulders, so I can lean back a little bit and hang my arms over the back of the chairs and stuff like I like to do because I have little kids I have to pick up.
Well, there you go. And Trigger, yourself?
Me, I'm kind of rocking a imitation X Racer from one of the local shops for like 20-30 euros. Yeah, comfortability is a really big thing whenever it comes down to chairs, and something that's really quite durable. I'm 6'5", and I've already gone through 3 different chairs that have pretty much broken down. All of them comfortable, but something that you can stay comfortable in. Sit down, lay back maybe a little bit, like how you are right now on stream. It's great for whenever you're sitting there and live streaming. You got the face cam going on. People see that you're really comfortable. Euros. I'm located over in Germany. I would have a DX Racer, but they don't ship to APO addresses.
That is a downside, right? But the one thing I do want to take the time to let people know is that it's not just DX Racer. Honestly, DX Racer is a decent chair, but I do recommend checking out the Steel Series chairs. They are technically just office chairs. They're beautiful office chairs. They range in price anywhere from $300 to $3,000. That's right. They get as high up as $3,000. Now, for $3,000, you get the really cool captain's office chair with all of the lumbar and extra features. You can literally lay right down. These chairs are designed for offices where you're working 12, 14, 16 hours a day, only able to get up like every 3 hours at most. And you need to make sure that you're going to be comfy the entire time sitting at your desk, typing, and things like that. They have tons of different features like raising and lowering, tilting back and forth, shifting and sliding, all different ways so that you can be as comfortable as possible and make sure that your lumbar is being supported, because that is a big thing, is lumbar support. The human body was not meant to sit. It was meant to stand. It was meant to run. When it is sitting, it was meant to sit on the ground. It was not meant to sit in a chair, and this is something that you got to make sure that you have a decent chair for, or else you are going to have issues. Now, the one thing that I do want to take the time to state is that one thing I would recommend over a really good chair is a standing desk. If you can get a desk that will convert to standing, that's even better, because then you can stand up, you can stretch, you can continue to stream while standing. I actually have been looking at getting a desk that raises and lowers. There's two different types. There's hydraulic and mechanical. Mechanical is not good. They break constantly. We recommend that if you are going to use it, that you go ahead and get yourself a hydraulic one, because the hydraulics work so much better. They raise, they lower, you can pick it up, move it to a standing desk, stand up, use the keyboard, see your monitors, everything's right there still, and you can lower it back down just by pressing the button and pushing it back down. Real simple, easy to use, and I recommend them highly. I used them for my previous job, and I would never give up a standing desk again. In fact, I am going to purchase one for my office once I find a job and I can afford it. That is definitely something that I am constantly working on, is improving my office. So that is a recommendation that I have when it comes to chairs, desks, things like that. But next, I want to talk about a completely different subject. Networking.
Hey.
Now, networking is a great thing. It is going to allow you to do tons of stuff. But I just realized, guys, we've only got about 10 minutes left. I actually have to end just a few minutes early, and the reason for that is because I have a job interview in 5 minutes. I have to go. I have to get set up for that. So unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the show. We're not going to talk about networking today. That's going to be one of next week's subjects. So please tune in next week. We're going to have a ton of stuff. We do have some special guests coming up. I'm working with Indy. I'm working with Geezer HD, a wonderful streamer you guys should check out. And we're going to work with some other streamers to try to set up some times for you guys to learn about them, learn about their streams, learn about their do's, their don'ts, and stuff that they've learned. So this is going to be something terrific and something that you guys are going to love. All right, guys, that is going to be it for today. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.